Ruben Obed here. Um, I posted up a picture of Caitlyn Jenner, right, with his or her or whatever new girlfriend, and a lot of people talking about it. And then I remembered something that happened when I was like maybe 18, 19 years old, right? Um, I was fresh out of high school. Actually, well, I was in college at the time, and I had a group of friends that we would all hang out. Right, we would go clubbing. We would go up to Philly to go to it was a nightclub up in Philly called Egypt nightclub, and we used to go there and shit. It was cool between friends. So I remember the girls that hung out with us, a couple of them, they would always complain that when they go to clubs, there was always some asshole trying to hit on them, and that they were saying that they like going to gay clubs because over there they could just like dance and have a good time, and they wouldn't have a problem, right? So I remember one night, all right, so we was hanging out, and one of the girls, she said, "Man, why don't we go to Bubbles?" It was a club somewhere. I don't even remember where the hell it was, and but it was like a gay club. Now I didn't know it was a gay club, you know. So they said, "Oh, we're gonna." I think it was in Atlantic City, if I'm not mistaken. It was called Bubbles at something like that. Bubbles or it was. I think it was Bubbles or something with soap or something like that. But I think it was Bubbles nightclub, if I'm not mistaken. Well, anyway, I'm drinking my coffee. Sorry about that. Well, anyways, so I go over there and I go with these people and we walk in and everything seemed normal. I'm like, okay, it seems like just a club. So then my friends, they all like went to dance. See, but I'm not much of a dancer. I'm kind of like the one that just like, hanging out at the club. So I'm standing in the back, and then the club had two parts. It had like one part where they had like Latin music, and then the other part was like where all the gay people was hanging out at, right? But I didn't know what was going on. So I walk in, and I swear to God, I looked to my side, and I saw like a 10-foot man dressed up as a woman, like a drag queen with the big hair. And I'm like, oh shit, what the hell is that? And then on the other side, I saw another drag queen coming in, and it was like drag night. And I'm like, oh, and I'm 5'4", I'm short. So when you see a big ass man on high heels, and I'm like, holy shit. I'm like in Sodom and Gomorrah up in this motherfucker. And I had never seen some shit like that before. And now I'm here, I'm fucking scared. I'm like, what the hell is this? You know? I mean, and these trans guys, they was like gigantors. I mean, they were huge on them high heels. Man, that shit was traumatizing for me. So so my ass I went to the dancing area and I pulled my friends out and I'm like, yo, what the hell, y'all? Look at this shit. And I wanted to leave. And I said, and I wasn't in my own car. I was going to walk home. I couldn't stand it. I mean, that was, it was like traumatizing for me. Well, anyways, so one of the girls, she said, yo, Ruben, just go to the bottom part where the Latin music, because that part isn't gay. And all right, and I went down there and I stayed at the Latin part of the club. You know what I'm saying? But that shit was traumatizing for me because I had never seen this shit. Was scary, man. I mean, I remember that shit. That was scary, you know. That was the only time in my life that I ever been to a gay club. And shit, man. I didn't. I don't ever want to go somewhere like that. You know, that shit was traumatizing for me. You know, it was another time, like right around that time. At the time, I was dealing with the record companies, right? And I had gotten signed to Universal. So I was a little, suburb kid and shit. Even though like when I was younger, I grew up in the ghetto, but we moved to the suburbs like when I was like maybe, I don't know, like 14 or something like that. Maybe a little younger, 13 or 12. Anyway, but we moved to the suburbs, so my upbringing was really more so in like the suburbs, right? So like right around 1996, 97, I started like traveling to New York for the first time, right? So I had gone once to New York and I was like in awe because I'm like, oh shit, I had never been to New York. And I had taken the Greyhound to New York City, and I got out at 42nd and Ninth and shit, and they came to pick me up from the record company. And so, that was like my first time. So, like, the second or third time I went up to New York, that day was the gay parade. And I got out the bus, and I got out of the bus, and I'm coming out of Port Authority, and I'm seeing all these freaking gay people parading, and they had like these leather tights, this like that sadomasochist with the whips and shit. And I'm like, what the hell is this? I didn't know what the hell to do. I had never seen some shit like that in my life. Then I saw it was like a gay parade, and it was like RuPaul. And I knew who RuPaul was because I had seen RuPaul like on MTV and shit. And like it was like a thing afloat, and RuPaul was, yo man, I'm telling you, I honestly I don't got nothing against gay people, man. Seriously, I don't. I'm just giving you my story on how that shit scared the hell out of me. I'm this little hick country kid. I even wore flannel. I was a flannel wearing. I look like I come from Kansas and shit, like Clark Kent up in New York City. And yeah, man, that was that was some shit. So those are the two times that I had like a huge culture shock, and but like when you look back at these things, you remember, and it's like I remember that how much of a shock that was to my ass, I'm telling you. But it's good, to experience these type of things, because a lot of people, like, they might be Christians, right? But they've never like experienced this. So in my case, like I actually like have seen these things firsthand, and I mean, I think all experiences of life are good, are positive. That one was scary, man. When I saw that big trans guy, I swear they were like 10 feet tall. Seriously, I mean, there was big ass drag queen on, and I'm like, I'm looking. I had never in my life seen something like that, man. Never in my life. So, I don't point the finger at nothing. If in fact, even if you straight, if you get friends and they go up to a gay club, my advice to you, I mean, like the best thing is like, is to be in the things of God, absolutely. But I think in life you should experience shit, and I'm telling you, man, that was crazy. That was an experience that I'm never gonna forget. That, man, that was scary shit, But it was funny because like when I would when I was there, I felt like God was gonna come down from heaven and like and like kill me. It was crazy shit, man. But those are things that you experience in life, and those are positive things, man. That you get exposed, because that's the reality that we're living in. That's the reality that we're living in, and a lot of times, like when we Christian, and when we have like Christian family members that they haven't like really seen what life is all about. I've had the honor to be around really evil ass people. I'm not talking about gays now. I'm not saying gays are evil. I'm talking. This is another subject here. I've had the honor to be around really evil people, and I say it's an honor because I see everything as a positive educational thing, and let me tell you something, man. There's a lot of good in the world, but there's some evil ass motherfuckers out there. So I can recognize evil really quickly, really quickly. I believe that's what many Christians call discernment of spirits. I think that I feel that God has given me that because, man, I could. It's like, it's like that movie, that the people put these eyeglasses and then they saw a different type of world, and that I see this. I could tell when somebody's really evil, and many times the people that are evil, it isn't that they're doing really bad shit. It has nothing to do with what they're doing, because a good person can do an evil act, and an evil person can do a good deed. No, what I'm talking about evil is something you can see it like in the eyes. You get this vibe, even if the person hasn't done anything to you. You just feel it in your spirit. You feel it. You feel that this person is just something off about that person, and like you can see them like betraying you, or you can see like their intentions. Like you can see what they're feeling. I'm telling you, man, it's something. That's some crazy stuff, and it's really good that I've been exposed to that, because I could tell who's who really relatively quickly. And unfortunately, I've noticed um, the same evil presence in certain people that I care about, you know, and that's the scary part. How you can one moment, see one person a certain way, and then all of a sudden you see them change. And like I said, let me repeat, it has nothing to do with them doing something to you. It's just like it's like a change, and you see it. You feel it in your spirit. you know so that's what happens, man. That's what happens. But yeah, I'm kind of going off subject. Yeah, but I was just remembering, that one time, man. With I'll tell you one thing though. um it it's it's not something that I would recommend for somebody to go to a gay club. If you're not gay, I don't recommend it, because um I think it's like a spiritual thing. you know if you're a Christian, that's not your place. That's not your place to be. And if you're a Christian and you're a believer in God, you should not be in places that are not according to your beliefs, that are not according to, you don't belong there. I've always said this, and I've said this to my kid: don't ever go anywhere where God's protection cannot reach you. And we all know God is everywhere, but there's certain places that, you go into a place that you're not supposed to be in. um God ain't gonna be in there. He'll probably stay outside, wait for you by the door, but whatever goes down in there, you're on your own. You know what I mean? So we shouldn't put ourselves in places and in positions where God's grace cannot reach us. you know but there's things that you go through in life and you experience, and that was just one thing. See, I like to mention this. You know what? I like to mention this because a lot of people hear me talking about Christianity and about God and whatnot, but a lot of pastors, like, they preach, but they ain't real. You know what I'm saying? That's why I always say I would never in my life attach the word pastor to my name, because a pastor would not have the cojones, wouldn't have the balls to stand up on the pulpit and say that he remembers the day he went to a gay club. You know what I'm saying? Because of the whole stigma. You know what I'm saying? But then, when you're real, I ain't gay. I've never even tried being gay. Never had an interest on it. So I have no issue with saying that I went with a group of friends one time to a gay club. I don't got a problem with that. I don't got to be ashamed of something that I did not do. It just so happens that we're a bunch of kids hanging out, and they ended up going to Bubbles Club, and I went along with them. And that's just stuff that happens in youth and shit. But I think every experience in life builds our character. And that was it was just traumatic, man. I remember that. I still think about that, and I'm like, holy shit! And it seems scary to me, man. It really seems scary to me. No joke. I mean, not joking around. When I saw, I think it was recently on TV that they had this trans person talking to kids. I don't know if it was Obama or something at the White House, or it was a video that I saw. And it was a trans, and it was like they reading to kids and shit. It was a not a trans, I mean a drag queen. And I remember the time that I had gone to that gay club with the friends, and I said it was traumatic to me, and I was practically almost 20 years old. It was traumatic to me to see these drag queens. Imagine how much more traumatic it would be to them little 4 or 5 year olds to see this. You know, I mean, I'm just giving you my experience. I'm just trying to see things from that perspective, because shit, it traumatized me. Let me tell you something. Look, I don't got nothing against people drinking. You know, I don't. If you're a beer drinker, that's on you. That's cool. That's your business. So I'm not here to judge nobody. But me personally, I grew up in a household where there was no liquor, there was no drinking. My parents are like straight up, church Christians. So that's what I grew up in. Um, and like through the years, like I got a studio. People come here, they record, and if a customer comes in and they got their own beer because they're gonna do a session and they'll put it in my fridge, like it just creates this vibe like, oh god, there's a beer in my refrigerator. And I look at it and it's like, you're not supposed to be there. you know and like I said, it's stupid. I mean, I'm not the one drinking it, you know what I mean? I got a customer and whatnot. But just the upbringing of me not wanting to see a beer in the refrigerator. I don't drink. I don't drink at all. I have tasted beer. I have tasted a drink, but I don't like it. I'm not into alcohol. Never have been, never have been interested. I've never been drunk. I don't know what it is to be drunk. And I have no interest in knowing what it is to be drunk. I've tasted it before. I'd be a liar if I say I haven't tasted it. But one thing I have never done in my life, never smoked weed. Never, never. And I will never smoke weed. That's like off limits for me. But the thing is, like, there's certain things that you don't get used to. I can't see a beer in the refrigerator and not feel weird. And I've had them there, and I have customers that come here and they bring their beer, and then while we're recording, they'll, have their little beer. I don't care. I mean, I don't have an issue because I know it's not a big deal, but it just, every time I see it in the refrigerator, man, it's just something in there. Something in there clicks, you know. So yeah, just I just wanted to share this with you guys. I thought it was something, I don't know. I don't know if it was interesting or if it was just ridiculousness, but yeah, man, that's the type of stuff you go through when you're young. So those are experiences that we go through in life. So, oh, check this out, guys. I want to show you something before I go. This has nothing to do with the subject, but this shit is funny. I showed this a couple of months back, right? A couple of months back, my cell phone broke, right? And I needed a phone, and I didn't have the money to buy a phone at that moment. I was broke. So I had like maybe $6 on my PayPal account, and my ass was broke. And but I needed a phone, so I went on there on eBay, and I found a BlackBerry. And I remember when Blackberries came out, I always wanted a BlackBerry. I'm like, oh shit, a BlackBerry! That was like the biggest thing when that came out. Well, I found a brand new BlackBerry for $5. Look at that bad boy. It's in mint condition, a BlackBerry. And so I purchased it for $5. It was by Cloud. Oh, look, it works. It worked perfectly. You can't really, like, the online experience of this is like really, yeah, it's horrible. It's practically useless. But you can use it like to make phone calls and stuff, and it works. And but so I bought it for $5, and I used it for like a month until I had some money to actually get a decent phone. But I was really happy with this phone. So I even bought it a little cover. You see, got a little cover. So my ass has a BlackBerry, mint condition. And I enjoy having like these vintage stuff. I enjoy it because like at the time, this was worth a lot of money. You know what I'm saying? This was worth a lot of freaking money, and I got it for $5 on eBay. And the cover was $1, so total $6. You know, but for that month, I actually could make my calls, and I was handling my business with that. But you know, I like these vintage things. Right here, I'm gonna show you something. I'm gonna show you all something that's really nice. All right. I got a mint condition iPhone, iPhone 4, mint condition. Look at that. Look at that. iPhone 4, and it works perfectly. You see what I'm saying? It does not have one scratch on it, literally, because the guy where I got it from, also on eBay, look at that. He had it in the cover. He never took it out of the cover. So I have mint condition iPhone, iPhone 4. The funny thing was how much I got this for. I got this for $20. $20. I got this phone. It came with the cover, and it came with the original headphones, the earbuds. And I used it. I don't use the phone at all. I don't use it at all. It still even has a little clear plastic on it. But I try to keep it like in like this perfect mint condition, because it's like I don't know. It's just like I wanna just the fact that it's like old school already, and it's in such a perfect condition. Not, I mean, I'm telling you, I mean, I don't know if that does it justice, but there's not one scratch on it at all. Literally, look, it just booted up. If you could see that. Maybe if I turn the light off, you can see it better. Hold on, let me see. All right, can y'all see that? Okay, turned off. And yeah, but iPhone 4, and it works perfectly, man. Everything works perfect on it. you know. But I don't use it because this phone is Verizon. It's a Verizon phone, and I hate iPhones. I really don't like iPhones at all. But this is a Verizon phone, and we don't have Verizon in Puerto Rico, and it's not like the phone that you could put the little SIM card in. This is like the other technology, like Sprint, But I didn't get that for that reason anyway. But this is just like a little blast from the past that I have laying laying around. You know, I was thinking maybe doing like some kind of like a time capsule. You know what I mean? And I was thinking about that and maybe like burying it. But then I said to myself, you know what? That's not gonna work because the lithium batteries are lithium batteries are it'll probably mess up. So I keep it around and I try to keep it charged and stuff, but it works real good. Anyways, that's about it. That kind of didn't have anything to do with the subject, but I don't know. I just wanted to show you guys. So there's my BlackBerry. There's my BlackBerry, and it's vintage for $5, and the iPhone 4 vintage for $20, and it's turned off on me. Yeah, there it is. It turned back on. Yep, that's it, man. So collecting these vintage phones. What I want to get is, you guys remember back in the day when you had like the flip phones? They look like real big, and they had that little flip on there. That I want to get one of those, like the big, first ones that the battery was like ginormous.